Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. There, I said it. This is the thing about entrepreneurship that people don't understand, is that entrepreneurs make it look really easy to make a lot of money. And it's so simple. And here's the thing, it is. But simple doesn't always mean it's for you. Because here's the truth, you'll never actually work less until you understand what it takes to be an entrepreneur. This was me even a year ago. I had no idea what it took, and I thought I did. But here's the thing, I learned the hard way. I had no weekends, I had no boundaries, I was constantly on the grind, and what I didn't understand is that I was busy, but not free. And this was something that a lot of people in my life could recognize before I actually did. And it cost me a lot. I know what you're thinking. Well, if I slow down, I'll probably lose out on some money, or things won't get done, or whatever that fear is. That fear kept me trapped for years. And what I didn't realize was that actually the constant hustle was already costing me way more than money. So let's talk about entrepreneurship and what it really demands, and why slowing down might actually help you earn more. Now, I think we can all agree that freedom isn't actually about doing more. It's about knowing what you no longer have to do. This is something that I've been experiencing for the past year. I have owned several different types of businesses, worked in several different industries. I have worked with over 20 clients. One of the things that I was having a hard time with was balancing everything. And I was able to come up with a successful way to do my calendar and all of these things, but I found myself really overwhelmed a lot of the time. And a lot of people would ask me, how do you do it? I realized I can't do it. There was one day that I actually came to the realization that when I had been asked that question so much, I actually thought to myself, I actually can't do this. This is not sustainable for me, because my relationships were all failing. My friendships, my ex-boyfriend at the time, my family. I wanted to put my time into so many different things that I actually couldn't put my time into because my business was binding me. And if you're stuck in this same position, I'm gonna help you get out of this. One of the things that has helped me, that I learned over time by working for other people, is that systems create freedom, but the boundaries are the things that protect it. This is something that I wish I realized when I was working with clients, because a lot of my clients would come to me overwhelmed because they had no system. Well, my specialty is creating systems, and so I would create these systems, but the problem was that I didn't help my clients understand that it was important to have boundaries around it, because I didn't even have boundaries around it. And I am a big believer in you do what you tell other people to do. If you're going to suggest something, then you got to practice it first. So the thing I'm going to talk about is the mindset shift. This is something that I have been really into lately, is what is the purpose of building? What are we building? Why are we building it? Freelancers work in business. Entrepreneurs are actually building the business. And when you're constantly busy, you're running into client time and not CEO time. This is something that is incredibly crucial if you want to have a successful business, is that your client's time doesn't dictate how you work. It's actually the value of your own time that defines how you're going to do it. So I remember when my income hit a ceiling and there was no more hours left to work or sell. I was working 3 jobs. I had several other clients, and it was really hard. And when I say I was working 3 jobs, I was working for 3 major clients at the time, but all of it was taking up way too much. This is last year when I had just met my husband and I didn't really know what I was doing, and I had come to the realization that I was doing way too much. I had been told it by several people that kindly were trying to help me understand what I am trying to tell you today. But I was having such a hard time, and I wanted to make more money because I knew the income that I was under was actually not livable. But I had no more time. So this is when I realized actually that growth doesn't come from adding hours. It actually comes from changing what those hours are spent on. So then this led me into systemizing and delegating. The only thing that is a strength of mine in those 2 things is systemizing. But when it comes to delegation, I have been known to be too much of a control freak to let go of that. And if you're like me, I see you, I feel you, I hear you, okay? If you are maxed out, you can't actually do anything. You have nothing left to give. You are just an empty shell that is just trying to keep the oxes going, okay? So this is not running a business. This is working in business. This is now you've tied yourself to a job that you did not intend to create. I have always been somebody that is go, 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 go. I have never known how to stop. I have never been known to take breaks. I would work myself to the point that I wouldn't even eat because I would get so involved in my work. You start to panic because you don't realize that not only do you need time to slow down and you need time off, but you actually are worthy of that time. You are worthy of slowing down, giving yourself the things that you need, and actually taking a beat for a second. And the moment I tried to slow down, I panicked. I was so scared. And this was something that my husband, when we were dating, was really helpful with because we have opposite personalities when it comes to how we work. But I thought that everything was going to fall apart. There was major family stuff happening for me in my life that was affecting my business, and there was no way that I could actually find my footing. Then, when I actually took a moment to actually stop and take a little bit more time for myself, I realized that constant motion isn't momentum. And that revelation really, really helped me because I was going and putting some effort and time into the person I was dating because I knew I'm going to marry this person. And so I started shifting my time. I knew things had to change. And when I made this change, everything around my husband, for whatever reason, like the world just slows down, and it's wonderful. It's beautiful, especially for someone like me who's constantly go, go, go. And this is when I started to realize this about myself. Slowing down started giving me the space to think. My creativity that had felt so dry for so long started appearing. It started coming back, and it gave me understanding to plan and see a bigger picture that was beyond where I was at. And it helped bring perspective. Speed feels productive, but reflection actually builds profit. So even if you are slower, it's actually okay. It's actually really helpful to slow down a little bit because that reflection is actually very helpful for building profit, because then you can decide, is what I'm actually doing profitable, or is it just something I think I need to do because it feels productive? Not everything that feels productive is productive. We have to remember that slowing down isn't stopping, it's strategic pausing. And this is where the Sabbath comes in. So when we take this strategic pause, we actually are setting a boundary for ourselves. And as I mentioned earlier, when you marry boundaries with systems, it gives you freedom. And so the difference between chaos and control is systems. Once I started setting up boundaries, which for me looks like I'm starting work at 9 a.m. and I am getting off work at 5 p.m. No work is happening past 5 p.m. unless I start later in the workday. Once I started setting those boundaries and really documenting my process, my time started opening up. And I found myself, even when I was at my busiest, just me changing my mindset about slowing down and not working as much, it actually made me more productive, and things, spoiler alert, didn't fall apart. It was actually really difficult because I was in a position where I realized I needed to actually leave a client behind. And this is not easy. Having this conversation, especially when you're working with family, is very difficult. And so I had decided that I was not going to continue with this client, and I knew I have to streamline this so that I can actually give my 100% to my clients. And that was something, it was like a weird breakup. I had to essentially break up with some of my clients on really good terms, and I was able to frame it in a way where my clients understood that I was not at my best and I needed some time to focus on me actually pivoting in one of my businesses for it to be the main moneymaker. It didn't quite replace the income that I was wanting. However, it wasn't below the threshold either for me. And so I started scaling that business as fast as I could. While I knew that I was letting go of these other clients that weren't bringing in a whole lot of money because I did not value my time and I did not value what I was offering, I also had another business where there was actually a lot of fruit. There was income coming in. I actually wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to it in the beginning stages. I was just showing up, doing the work, and leaving. And so that was all I could offer at that time. And me showing up to work and working with those clients and then leaving was just enough for me to be able to realize I can do this. I can actually work sustainably in this business and move forward. All the no's that I said made room for the right project, the right process, and the right clients. And I started feeling like I could breathe again. I ended up being able to get married during that time. I went on my honeymoon during that time. I got to travel during that time. It was really wonderful. They were all things that I had never been able to do before because I was so constantly busy. And this is when I realized that freedom is not actually about doing more. It's about knowing what you no longer have room to do. A lot of entrepreneurs struggle with is because we feel like the need to control everything that's going on in our business, we have a hard time delegating. And so I was able to delegate certain tasks to my systems. And so this is what it means when I say systems create freedom, but boundaries are the things that protect it. So when you set up your boundaries that you are creating for your workspace and you have a system that you're able to delegate to, it actually helps you slow down, have a better business plan, and you can actually show up better for your clients than you ever could before. And if you're ready to stop trading your time for money, I've got a free resource for you that helps freelancers start systemizing their businesses, and that link's below. So that's the truth. You'll never work less until you understand that freedom comes from systems, not hustle. If you're grinding and wondering when it's going to pay off, I've been there. I totally understand. And I'm here to tell you that unless you change something, it's not going to change. This video is your reminder that slowing down isn't quitting, it's strategy. Take a breath. Refocus yourself, especially as we head into 2026, and go build something that gives you your life back. I'm Mrs. Bradshaw, and if this is hitting home for you, make sure you're subscribed. I'm going to be breaking down how you actually build a business that gives you your life back in a future video. We'll see you next time.